I didn't realize I was on mute. Can you repeat it one more time?
Oh, I was asking to Wanda, but I believe, and I think maybe her line is on, might be on mute or
I thought
something.
I answered it. Yeah, what comes on the back burner is not spending so much in the grocery store. Travel can go on the back burner. And
okay.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I said what was a necessity is having a place to stay, my car, of course, car insurance, like and my cell phone. As far as the internet, no, that can't go back when I gotta be on Wi-Fi. I can use my hotspot though.
This is true.
Yeah, somebody said cable. Yeah, cable is definitely. Well, Netflix is a necessity. She said hair and nails. I don't know why she went down. She's trying to give me all these answers. Oh yeah, but definitely hair and nails. Absolutely, I can buy my own hair, and I can my nails. I can figure that out myself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll be neglecting myself though, but it's okay.
So me, I can obviously me for number one is the same thing, having a place to stay, so paying my rent, and probably my school would be up there. It's really important, but as you guys know, I'm blind, so I really don't have to, have a car. So that one I can totally go on the back burner, or I can ask my husband for rides. I usually do anyway. And what I can go without, gee, that's pretty hard. I guess I've learned I can without concerts. I don't really like to, but I can go without them.
Is there does it make it more difficult for you some way if you don't have that?
It does, because I've always been like I said, I've always been into music and hanging out with people and that sort of thing. But I have my school now, and that I definitely need. So I don't really know what I could go without.
Okay. All right. Well, for myself, I'm going to, jump in that wagon with everyone else when I say that, housing is the most important. I need a place to stay, whether it's a house or something for rent or a hotel. I need a roof over my head, especially because I have a child. So that's number one for me. Got to have a place to stay. Food. I don't think I would like being without food for very long. I would not be a happy person. I absolutely must have internet. It doesn't matter where in the world I am. I have to have internet. That is how I survive. I have to have my phone. I have to have a car, and utilities are definitely important. Yeah, those are the main basic needs. What I can do without, I can do without television, meaning cable. And I learned this after I started streaming TV online, first through a provider. I can't remember their name right now. But I learned that I could do without cable by cutting the cord. And then I got rid of them when I found out I could get most of my very basic needs, such as the news, on YouTube. So I don't really need TV. I can do without TV completely. I can do without cable completely. And what can go on the back burner? Well, I've had to put my pedicures on the back burner. It didn't make me happy, and my feet aren't happy, but there it is. So, so we're going to move on to number 3. And number 3 is to plan. Create a financial plan to know just how much funds you will need, not only to survive, but also to multiply your funds. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard this saying, pay yourself first. This is a phrase that I first came across after reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki. And it's kind of crazy because I understand the concept a little bit of paying yourself first, just in terms of investing and saving and things like that. But the idea of pay yourself first that Robert Kiyosaki discussed in his book Rich Dad Poor Dad was sort of I don't want to say a new concept. It's just I'd never thought of it in that light, and I want to throw that to you guys to discuss what you guys think about it. Creating a financial plan, how do you plan, and how do you pay yourself first? And in the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki and his wife told their financial advisor to basically put 30% of everything that they made into an account specifically to pay for things that would make them more money. So, for example, say if they got $1,000 check, 300 of that went towards an account that they would put in simply to pay for things that would make them more money. Now, whether these were investments, whether these were properties, whatever it was, 30% of everything that they made. And their financial advisor would freak out because, they had debt. How do you pay all this debt when you're taking 30% of your income and sticking it somewhere? Well, what they did was that they worked more and made more money. So I want to throw that idea out to you guys to hear your thoughts on that. How do you plan? How do you create a financial plan? And what do you think about the idea of paying yourself first? Corinne, you go first.
I do like the idea of paying yourself first. And I think in terms of if I want to pay myself first, I set up my lifestyle so that I can afford to do that. So, for if you're struggling to paycheck to paycheck, and if paying all your bills means that you stay with $5, then you stay with $5 because the most important part is to make sure that you take care of yourself. But if you're in a situation where you are able to pay yourself first, I think that you should be putting that money that you're paying yourself into savings instead of treating yourself. So that you should be doing that first, making sure all your obligations are taken care of, and then doing whatever leisure or activity you do for pleasure.
So, in what ways do you try to apply that kind of thinking?
I would say by just trying to make sure that I spend consciously, and just make sure that all my obligations are taken care of first.
Very good. Tawanda, how about you?
I want to ditto what Corinne said, because for me as a single woman that's not married, that doesn't have any children, with me, I have this philosophy, and I say to singles all the time, hey, we can just be the richest people in the world, especially if you don't have any kids or you don't have high expenses, or if you're not, what's that saying, living on a champagne taste with a beer budget. I am extremely conservative, and I do believe in saving. I do have a financial advisor that helps me with getting the plan in place. I don't really so much follow a budget, but that's because what I do is very basic. I know what my monthly bills and expenses are. I know different things and different times when I'm going to splurge every quarter, et cetera, and I do live below my means now. And I say now because there was a period of time to where I was killing them credit cards and doing all these kind of things that I definitely could not afford. And then I got some sense, and I started realizing what my priorities was and what I had to actually do. And based on those, that has helped me live below my means and not necessarily live on a budget, but actually live and get only things I really, really need, because I'm looking forward to the future and the bigger goals that I have and that I'm going to need to be able to have money for.
That's a good idea. I like what you said. It reminds me of some of the planning that I've done for myself ever since I read Robert Kiyosaki's book. Because again, everyone knows pretty much the idea of saving and making sure you have a retirement fund and all of that. But the concept of actually paying yourself money, like making sure you get paid and that money is yours, it's yours to do, to make yourself more money. That was sort of a new concept to me, and it was really intriguing to me. And I started trying to put it, attempting to put it in practice after reading his book. And so I think that that's something that if it's possible for you to do, then it should, not only should it be done, I think it's necessary in order to increase your finances, because it's impossible to get ahead in the world that we live in. If you don't have multiple streams of income, you're just not going to be able to succeed and thrive. Not in this atmosphere, not anymore. It's just not possible. And so it's really important to make sure that you have multiple streams of income. And one of the major ways of doing that is making sure that you have enough money to invest in things that are going to make you more money. So I think that that's a really important concept, and I really enjoyed reading that in his book. So I myself, my part of my financial planning is that I try to put 30% of what I make aside toward things that will make me more money. And whether that's investing or a retirement plan, whatever it is, that's what that money goes for. Number 4 is strategize each step. Turn each step of your plan into a bite-sized piece of the greater whole. The smaller each step is, the less likely you will feel overwhelmed, and the more likely you will feel productive. So say, for example, you have a plan and I don't know what your plan is. You might have a plan to buy a house. You might have a plan to move into a bigger apartment. You might have a plan to, save $20,000, whatever it is. How do you turn each step of your plan into a bite-sized piece of the greater whole so that you don't feel overwhelmed with the magnitude of your plan and slack off? Corinne, you go first.
I think that the way that I break it down into actionable steps is just by thinking about the bigger picture of my goal, the end goal, and just breaking it down into feasible parts. So obviously, you have to take certain steps to get to any end point. So I just try to think about each step that I need to take to get to that end point.
Right. Do you make a practice of strategizing? Excuse me, I got tongue-tied. Do you make a practice of strategizing each step of your goals? Is that something that you do, or do you use a different method?
Yeah, what I do place certain things that are more important over other tasks. Yeah, so I do that. When you do that, is it effective in helping you to accomplish your goals? And if not, what method do you use that works for you? I believe it's effective. I believe if you prioritize what's important and choose to go after what's important, and then just choosing the best method to get there. And if you don't succeed, you can always multitask, so you can always have more than one thing going on. And just maybe sometimes put more energy into one other thing because there's only so many hours in a day.
Right.
So, you can prioritize that way. And I'm usually multi-tasking. I'm multi-juggling multiple things. So I'm used to that type of day-to-day and that type of lifestyle.
Okay. Awesome. Tawanda, you there? Do you strategize each step of your goals? And if so, how effective is it in helping you accomplish your goals? And if you don't, what method do you use that works for you?
My life is about strategy. I really don't do anything without one. And it's actually very effective. I'm a thinker, and I like to think. I like to create. I like to weigh the pros and cons. I've had people all my life tell me, oh, you think too much, or you overthinking it. And I'm like, oh, well, I'd rather overthink it than not think about it at all or underthink it. I like to look at the pros, the cons, a left, right, front, back, side, middle, and then I like to proceed just because, of course, we watch a lot of television, but I just believe that when you're strategic and you know actually what you want, what you need to actually do, it helps us become more effective and get the results that we want. And even if we don't get the results we want, we know that we didn't just do something off the whim. We still looked at every possibility to be able to win.